Hello, my name is Andy and I am the Village Idiot. I'm armed with a car and a GoPro and an unhealthy amount of time on my hands. I'm using that time to attempt to visit every civil parish in England. You're watching the East Riding of Yorkshire series. Together with the unparished city of Hull, it forms the county of the same name. There's 172 parishes here. Which one are we in today? Welcome back to the East Riding of Yorkshire, everybody. If you've clicked on the title of this video expecting to see something in the Lake District, well, I have to disappoint you. We're not in the Lake District, we're just in a village that's got a name associated with the Lake District. Welcome to Coniston. Here's my disclaimer for people who may be watching me for the first time. I say things as I would in my native accent and dialect. As a result, I may not pronounce things in the same way as the locals do. Remember, I'm a visitor. It's impossible to know everything. Leave me a comment, spin me a like and bash that subscribe button. Let's get to today's parish video. Yes, folks, you are definitely in an East Riding village here, not anywhere in the Lake District, despite the name. Welcome to Coniston, which of course shares its name with one of those Cumbrian lakes. It's located just to the north of Ganstead along the A165, a few miles away from the suburbs of Hull. Unlike near neighbour Bilton though, Coniston is definitely more of a village. Anciently, this was known as Coningesbi, the modern day translation of which is literally King's Farm. Coniston was originally a hamlet built along one street that ran in an east to west fashion, not north to south as it currently does. The road linked the nearby village of Swine to Thirtleby, while side lanes led to Skirlaugh and Ganstead. These side lanes were later incorporated into the main Hull to Bridlington road, and in the mid-20th century many bungalows and other houses were built alongside the stretch to Ganstead. This setup would continue until the 1970s, at which point the brand new A165 bypass would emerge. Whilst Coniston has seen a fair bit of development over the last century, it retains a lot of its much more interesting property. Notable landmarks here include an old chapel which has seen far better days, a village hall, a garage and a farm shop, and even a pub called the Blacksmith's Arms. So it's not in Cumbria, but I think it's every bit as desirable. Let's have a look at it, shall we? We begin on Swine Lane, which at one time would have been Coniston's main through route, linking Swine to Thirtleby. Our first landmark is the village hall. This was built in or shortly before 1951, and it's a well-used communal building. It can be hired out for various functions. Since its building, this has had extensive renovations both inside and out. Next, we come to a small cul-de-sac. This is a modern street by the name of Chapel Fields, and the chapel is next door. Unfortunately, this chapel has seen better days. It was a primitive Methodist effort, and it was built in 1872, closing in 1991. Unlike countless other old chapels, it was never converted to anything else. Now it lies abandoned and unloved. Now to follow Swine Lane towards the centre of Coniston. One side of the road is lined with older, terraced houses, whilst the other side is raised up off the ground and has some more modern bungalows. Let's hop up there for a second. It's not exactly Mount Everest up here, but this elevated view isn't bad. I like this cream-coloured house opposite me here. I had to laugh at this sign on one gate. No stupid people. Well, I guess that means I can't go in there then. Swine Lane ends with the old post office. This was also once a shop too, but now Coniston relies on Skirlaugh for those. Okay, we've reached literally the centre of the village. You've seen this twice already in the drive-in, thanks to me driving around. It's a one-way street at the end there. That's where I came in and then came in again to do the loop around Coniston. And now we're going to walk that loop, so we're going to go past the old post office, which you've just seen, and then round onto the A165 before coming back here again via that one-way street and past the pub. Main Street is a funny road. One end of it is pretty busy, containing as it does the local pub and a cluster of properties. The other way, it's practically empty. This was not originally Coniston's main road, it was a side lane that ran to Skirlaugh. It's not all empty, mind you. This yard contains, literally, a local business. This is Coniston Self-Storage. They offer self-storage units as well as space for caravan and agricultural machinery. I've linked their website below. Coniston has two main farms. Here's Manor Farm, which is the larger of the two. The smaller Lane End Farm is off Swine Lane. Now we've hit the A165, the bypass built in the 1970s to allow faster access between Hull and Bridlington. There's no footpath along the side of the bypass, but then again, there doesn't really need to be, and here's why. When the bypass was constructed, this large open area was left untouched. I guess you'd call this a village green now. On the other side of the road, there's a bus stop. Coniston is served primarily by the number 24, which runs to Hull. And once you get past the bus stop, you've then got a turning on the left here, which is where you can find Coniston Farm Shop. We just go a little bit further. I can't remember how far down this road the farm shop is. It might be within walking distance. I can't remember. I think it's just here on the left hand side if I remember rightly. So we'll just walk for a little bit and see if it is indeed here. My memory has escaped me. For this part of the video. This lane leads to Thirtleby, which is a hamlet within Coniston's boundaries. Now I did have a look at the map before I came here to see if there was anything down there, anything worth going to. I don't think there is. It's a dead end, I do know that, and it hasn't got much more than just a couple of houses lined along this road towards that dead end. But I think there might be enough down there for a special section, so I'll give you that in a moment. Where is this farm shop? What a great question. Have I walked past it? Time to get the map out, I think, because like I said, my memory has definitely escaped me here. Is it on this corner? Let's see. There is a house here which looks like it sells something, because there was a garage. Let me have a look and see here. Yeah, I think this is it. There we go, look, you can see a garage in the distance there with a van parked up in front of it there. I think that's the farm shop, if I am not totally mistaken. Could be wrong. I'm happy to be wrong, but like I said, I've had a bit of a memory lapse there. Okay, so for the last section of this video, we're going to walk away from this road and back past the pub to the centre of the village, which you've already seen, of course. There is the pub right in front of me there, so we're going to cross the road, go across to that and complete the circuit of Coniston. Out to the east of Coniston is the hamlet of Thirtleby, a former parish in its own right, which was united with Coniston in 1935. Together, the two are now governed by Coniston and Thirtleby Parish Council. Thirtleby's name is Scandinavian and it means Thorkel's farmstead. Much of Thirtleby was held by the St Quintins and was part of their Woodhall estate at Ellerby. The hamlet has comprised since the mid-19th century a dozen scattered houses. Historically, there were more properties out here than there are now. In 1800, there was Spacey Field Farm, which was demolished in the mid-20th century, and Swiss Cottage, a 16th century style lodge associated with perhaps the hamlet's most notable building, Thirtleby Grange. It also once had a licensed beer house in the 1750s too. And at Thirtleby's western end, part of Ganstead Park Golf Club falls within the parish boundaries. The rest sits over the border into Bilton. This is Coniston Bills, a garage which repairs cars but doesn't sell fuel. On the corner next door is the village's pub. There were one or two licensed houses in Coniston in the late 18th century, and in the 1820s one was called the Blue Bell. It's known that in 1840 Coniston had a pub called the Stag and Hounds, which was renamed to the Blacksmith's Arms. And this is that very pub. It reopened in 2017 after a period of closure and now brands itself as a bar and a grill. Many years ago there was a blacksmith's shop here, but that's long since disappeared. I imagine the pub was named after it. This central area definitely confirms you're close to Hull, featuring as it does another white phone box. Next to it there's a parish notice board, so I did the usual honours. Mark off Coniston folks, the East Riding is down to 55. After these we're back to the familiar surroundings of the village centre. That's at least 4 times now that you've seen this area. And we return to Swine Lane. That's taken just over half an hour to traverse this lovely little East Yorkshire village. Now I wonder if this house is in some way connected to the Lake District, because obviously we know Coniston is in the Lake District. Have a look at this. This is Penrith Cottage. Now if you don't know where Penrith is, that is, well, right on the edge of the Lake District. It's in Cumbria, just over the border from Durham and from North Yorkshire. There's certainly a Cumbrian Lake District-y type theme going on in this part of the East Riding, isn't there? Penrith Cottage and of course Coniston Village. So from here it's a simple case of walking back to the car, back past the old chapel, which really does look in a terrible state, doesn't it? It's the kind of building I would love to do up and bring it back to its former glory. I think I've said that in other places. It's a bit of a shame to see a building like that, you know, in a state of disrepair, but that's how it goes, I'm afraid. So we'll head back to the car, and that is Coniston in the books. And to finish, we're driving away from Coniston towards Swine along what would have been historically the main through route. Next week we'll be encountering, for the first time, an old railway line which will make several appearances over the next few East Riding episodes. Ciao for now! Thanks for watching this video, folks. Don't forget to like this episode if you haven't already. It really makes a difference with YouTube. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, and give us a share too if you've got friends who'd like it. You can find all the links to my social media accounts below, as well as my Buy Me a Coffee page where you can donate to the channel. Also, if you've enjoyed this episode, have a look at some more videos in this series. Until next time, I've been Andy, also known as the Village Idiot, and I'm out.